Hello everybody, welcome back to Read and Reread. I am Angelia and today I'm going to do a pair of tags. I was recently tagged by my friend Pat from Book Chat with Pat, and she did a tag doubleheader of 2 summer themed tags. And when I saw this I thought, well, I will do one of those. And I looked at the prompts and they were quite different. I did a tag that had a summer theme back at the beginning of summer and these were totally different. So I thought, yeah, this is fun, I'm going to do this. And then I decided that I could do not only the double header, but I'm going to put my own twist on it. And instead of listing books that I've already read and recommend, I'm going to make this into a prediction tag. I'm going to list a book that is on my super long TBR, which actually I call a consideration list in my journal where I keep it. It's just every book I collect, however I hear about a book. If I see it in the bookstore, hear about it on a video, friend recommends it, wherever I got the idea, I put it on my consideration list so I don't forget about it. I look it up, see if the library has it, and I draw from that list all year long for reading ideas. And so recently it's gotten pretty blown up with all the Booker prediction videos and everything, and just other books that I am excited about reading. So I'm going to answer each prompt predicting which book I want to read and haven't yet read would actually fulfill the prompt. Are you still with me? First thing I want to do is give credit to the tag creators. We have the Summer Vibes book tag created by Katherine at Raspberry Reads, and the Beach Vacation tag created by Scott at Some Other Character. And they both tagged Pat and she tagged me, and she tagged a lot of people. So if you somehow did not get tagged, you are now tagged to do either or both of these in any fashion that you choose. I will link all these channels in the notes. Now somehow I did my notes in reverse, so I'm going to do Scott's tag first. This is the Beach Vacation tag, and he opens it up for most of the prompts to be answered by books, movies, or comics. I'm just doing books, but I will read the prompts as he wrote them and as he specified what you could use to answer the prompt. And I'm going to go pretty quickly since I haven't read any of these. I do not have extensive commentaries. I'm just going to tell you what I know about the book and why I picked it. And glancing down at my assembled little cheat sheet, I didn't write down any of the authors. So if I don't know the author, I will put them on the screen as we go along, and it will all be in the notes as well, of course. If you've read any of these books, please tell me what you thought, how you liked it, and if I nailed it on predicting if it fits the prompt. Number 1, stranded. You're on a desert island for 1 week. You're going to get picked up. What one book are you taking with you, book only? Well, I appreciate the reassurance that I'm going to get picked up, so that alleviates a lot of stress. I'm going to take the longest book I have that I have not yet read, and it is Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry, because I cannot possibly run out of reading material if I take Lonesome Dove. And I think it would be a great choice for a stranded week on a desert island where there's maybe nothing else to do except go swimming, and I can sit in the shade and read this book and be transported through time and space to the American West and get engrossed in the cast of characters here. And if I'm not finished by the time the week is up, I will be so far into the book that my big book trepidation will be over and I will just continue to read the book. Number 2, Flip Flop Friendships, or How I Learned to Love Crocs. Okay, no shade on Crocs, but I'm a Birkenstock gal. A story with friendship at its core. Bonus, summer camp or travel, book, movie, or comic. My answer to this one is Wee Pretty Pieces of Flesh by, name filled in on the screen. And I have seen this in several Booker prediction lists. I do not like the title. When I heard the title, I thought it was a horror novel. And I don't know. There's another book that people have been talking about a lot that's just called Flesh. I don't like that word. So here it comes in 2 different books. But it is apparently a wonderful friendship story about 3 young women in a certain part of England, and it's written in a dialect that apparently once you read a few pages, you fall into the rhythm of it, and they start as teenagers and then they grow up and it goes over the years. and about their bonds and their ins and their outs, and it sounds really good. So We Pretty Pieces of Flesh, bad title, but hopefully good book about friendship. Number 3, Sunscreen Required. What book, movie, or comic burned you with hype but ended up disappointing you? Well, it's hard to know that in advance, and the risk is always there, especially if you read a lot of books and if you read things that you know might go out on a limb or be experimental or just outside the comfort zone. Different kind of things can happen. And even books that sound like, I think the most disappointing books of all are the ones that sound exactly in your lane and then they just don't quite do it. That's the worst. But if I'm looking at what I have on my list that I think could possibly be disappointing, one of them that I have jotted down that sounds really interesting, but I'm either going to really like it or it's not going to work at all and could be a DNF, is Audition. A lot of people are talking about it, but it also sounds, when I hear about it and read reviews, some people loved it. They thought it was really inventive. They were all caught up in it. Other people were confused, or they didn't care, or they thought it was gimmicky. So I can't tell, but I'm curious. The library has it, so that's the way I would go on that one, so that the stakes are low. I do have a book that I did buy that I think I'm gonna love it, but also there are a few things about it. I haven't read any bad reviews. There's some experimental aspects in the format that may or may not hold together well, and that's Endling by Maria Riva. I think it's gonna be great, but it sounds pretty weird also. And I think what happens, I think that the narrative gets going and then the book completely stops and restarts in a different direction or something midway through, and I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. The details are skimpy, and I'm certainly not going to look ahead and see what that's all about, but apparently structurally there are some unusual things at play in this novel about some women in Ukraine, a science researcher who's looking for a rare snail, and 2 girls who are looking for their mother, and they all work on the side in this marriage industry where men are coming to the Ukraine to look for what they think are going to be conservative, docile women. These women apparently are not. They're faking it for the paycheck and dating these men with no intention of marrying anybody and no intention of being conservative and docile. So that's what dragged me in. And then I guess the story goes along for a while, and then the war breaks out, Russia invades, and the book changes paths. So I think it's going to be great, but there's a risk because there's some sort of experimental factors at play. It's a debut novel. The next question is Sunburn and Secrets. Pick a twisty, juicy thriller or mystery perfect for a hot day, book, movie, or comic. I'm going to pick the new book by Belinda Bauer called The Impossible Thing. I have read and loved several Belinda Bauer books. I've also read a couple that didn't quite work, but her last few have been really solid, entertaining, offbeat mysteries. Not what you expect, surprises, interesting characters. I'm always excited when she has a new book, and her new book's called The Impossible Thing, and it has something to do with theft and collectible rare eggs. I don't even know. It's multi-generational, I think. Like goes over 100 years, and it has to do with some kind of subterfuge and fraud and theft of these eggs. Sounds kind of bizarre, but she comes up with these ideas that you hadn't read before, and there will be a mystery, but it won't be one that you think, well, this is just like this other book. So that's my choice for that category. Number 5, beach, book bag, or bog bag. What's your go-to lightweight, fast-paced read for the beach, book or comic? I have no idea what a bog bag is. Somebody let me know. I have lots of beach bags around the house because we have a beach down the street. But a book that I think will be kind of a lightweight, fast-paced read, which will be a blessing because it's kind of long, is A Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. From everything I have heard about this book, it is on the lighter side, both in the seriousness of the content and the weight that it could place upon my soul. It sounds like a fun read, and it's the beginning of a series, so I have high hopes that everybody is right about Becky Chambers. I did love the Monk and Robot book, so I'm picking that for the lightweight book. Number 6, Seashell Surprise. Name a book, movie, or comic that looked simple but had unexpected depth or beauty inside. Based on the reviews, I think a book like this might be A Room Above a Shop, or A Room Above the Shop. The Room Above the Shop. There's a shop, but there's a room. It's by Anthony Chaplin. It's about 2 men who live above a shop. I don't know if they run the shop, and I don't know exactly the time, but it's in the past. They're in love, and they're in the closet, and I guess they're pretending to be roommates, but they have a relationship, and they live in a room above a shop, and it's very beautifully written, and it sounds good. The plot scenario is simple. The appearance of the book is simple, but that it's very emotionally deep. Now let's look at the questions on Katherine's tag, the Summer VibesTag. This is Katherine from Raspberry Reads. Prompt number 1 is I Scream, You Scream, a thriller, horror, or mystery that is perfect for summer reading. There is an Icelandic author that I want to try. I got the idea about reading that she has a mystery series about a detective. I got the idea from Debs at Rainer Reads, but when I went to the library, the one on the shelf was not the first one in the series, so I need to request the beginning book. Here I come to you with an idea, a tentative attempt at the author's name, and no idea of the title of the book. But through the miracle of researching things I should have researched yesterday, I will place it upon the screen. What's it about? Who knows? It sounded good in Deb's video, and I wrote it down, and I want to read it. Number 2, A Day at the Beach, a book with a water theme. For that one, we're going to go with The Book of Records by Madeline Tin. The water connection is Lena and her father arrive at an enclave called the Sea, a staging post between migrations with only a few possessions. In this mysterious and shape-shifting place, a building made of time, pasts and futures collide. Lena befriends her neighbors, Bento, a Jewish scholar in 17th century Amsterdam, Blücher, a philosopher in 1930s Germany fleeing Nazi persecution, and Jupiter, a poet of Tang Dynasty China. So they're in a place called the Sea. Is it really on the water? I don't know, but there's a watery kind of look to the cover. This is going to be a buddy read with my dear friend Pat. We've been trying to organize a buddy read for some time, and this is it. And so I'm looking very much forward to it. So I feel really confident this is going to be a thoughtful, interesting, challenging read, and a great one to talk about with a friend. Number 3, Throwing Shade and Scorching Looks, a book with a great antagonist. Okay, I'm a little bit stuck on that one because I'm not sure, but I'm going to just take a wild guess, and I'm going to put up the book Mother Naked by Glenn somebody. There it is. And this one sounds so bizarre. It has to do with a medieval court jester who's maybe on a quest for revenge. And I don't know if he's the bad guy or somebody else is the bad guy. But it sounds like the kind of story where there has to be a weird antagonist, somebody complicated and fascinating. And I don't have this book in my possession, but perhaps I will soon, because every time I hear about it or it comes across my radar, I think, that's so odd that I think I need to see it for myself. Number 4 is Holidaze, D-A-Z-E, a book set abroad, preferably during summer. I don't know if this book takes place during summer or how much time it covers, but a book that does take place abroad is one that I have ordered and I am waiting for it. Yeah, I should have put Mother Naked in that order. Maybe I'll have to go back and add on. But it's Muggle Flugga by Michael Peterson. It's a place in Scotland. I didn't know this until I was learning about the book. It's an island off of Scotland, and it's about a man and his son who live on this island and tend the lighthouse, and then somebody comes and disrupts things. And it's absolutely fantastic. I read a sample, like a few pages. I like the style. I heard some super strong reviews. The ratings are sky high on this book. And the title, what, I mean, I know it's a place, but it just kind of cracks me up. I live in the US, so an island in Scotland is abroad to me, so that's my choice for that. Maybe summertime comes around in the story. Number 6, One Time at Camp. Okay, I'm hearing One Time at Band Camp. A coming of age book. I have one. I shared this recently. I got this at the same time I got Endling. Small Ceremonies by Kyle Edwards. It's about some Anishinaabe boys in Manitoba that are on a high school hockey team, and they're coming of age. They're growing up. There's a rumor that this is the last year that the hockey team will be playing. I don't know if it's like a budget cut or they don't have enough young guys coming up to fill a team. I don't know why. I'll find out in the story, but it's about this one particular boy named Tomahawk Tommy Shields, and his friends and his family, and at this turning point in his life when high school's coming to an end, and the hockey team, which has been the center of things in his life, and what's going to happen next. Oh, I just thought of another thriller that's coming out in the fall, in September. Dan Shawn has a new book. Has something, there's some kind of circus picture on the front. Whatever it is, it will be bizarre. It will be probably straddling multiple genres. His last one was sort of a road trip, kind of little dystopian, kind of a thriller, sort of speculative. He mashes it up. Sometimes they're more realistic, but then there's a mystery or a thriller element. So I don't know. I would normally not say, yay, a book about a circus, but it's Dan Shawn, so got to throw that one in there. 7 and 8 I'm combining. So it's a new release for this year, and then 8 is Family Barbecue, a book about family relationships, or a multi-generational book. And there's a book that is coming out in September that satisfies both of those prompts. I'm really excited because it's by a friend of mine, Joe O'Malley, who you may also know as Too Tight Lautrec on Booktube. And he has a novel coming out in September called Starlight and Moonshine. I've pre-ordered it, and you can too. It's available now for pre-order. And here's the synopsis. In early 80s Detroit, during the year following the drunk driving death of their alcoholic mother, a chorus of family voices grapples with haunting memories of the joys, regrets, and the strains of love that will reverberate throughout all of their lives. Does that not perfectly satisfy the family drama prompt? So I can't wait for messy family stuff coming up in that novel. It sounds so good. And so there you have it. All the summer prompts and nothing I've actually read. Let me know if any of these sound good to you, or you've read them, or you plan to read them, or some other book that came to your mind when you heard the prompts. I hope you're having a wonderful week. I will be back soon. Take care. Bye-bye.